You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
What a beautiful day for horses in the morning.
You are listening to the #1 horse podcast in the world. Here is your entertaining look at the horse world and the people in it.
Well, good Monday morning, everybody. I am Glenn the Geek in Ocala, Florida.
And I'm Jamie Jennings in Norman, Oklahoma. You're listening to Horses in the Morning on the Horse Radio Network for Monday, August 19th. Check it out. Sit down, Glenn. It's episode 3500 today. Brought to you by WERM Flooring. Good morning, Horse World.
You heard that right. It's Monday. The first day of a fabulous week of shows on Horses in the Morning. So saddle up and ride along. We promise to help you get through your week.
Episode 3500. It seems like just 2 years ago we did episode 3000.
We did. That was 2 years ago. Math checks out. Did you hear me, by the way, in the middle of that, just like disappear as I was saying that because my dog just ran and followed her out. So sorry for I was clinking around there.
Well,
episode 3500. I got it all figured out now. 3501 is going to be amazing.
The next 3500 will be so much better than the last 3500.
Oh, yeah.
So it's only taken us, 14, almost 15 years to get here. The 3500. That's
oh my
a
God.
long
Stop
time.
talking in that many years because it makes me feel really old.
Well, we decided we're going to spend this day with our listeners. One of our auditors, Jessica, sent us an important message. She is our traveling wanderer, our badass that climbs mountains and rides horses all over the world and has been on our show many times. Well, she put up an important message that I thought on her Facebook page, and I asked her to record it for us so we could play it today. It's been a little more serious than we usually do. We do our serious stuff on Mondays. And she recorded it while she's in Romania right now, which of all places. And then we have another auditor, Taylor, who's going to join us, and she's going to talk to us about her amazing wedding. She just got back from her wedding and honeymoon in Ireland. You have to look at the pictures, Jamie. It's a beautiful place to get married. Plus, she also is going to take us into the world of Standardbreds with the Standardbred Pleasure Horse Organization National Show. Basically, the Standardbred Pleasure National Show. And she's going to talk about that. She has a Standardbred that she absolutely loves and is great in pictures also. And then, do we have any first world problems on episode 3500?
There might be a few.
Okay.
Just a few.
So I found something that I haven't seen in almost 15 years. And we're going to do this in the post show. I found the original 5-minute promotion that we recorded for this show before it started in 2010.
The audio quality.
I don't know. I haven't listened to it. So I thought we'd both listen to it together in the post show. And then we can find out if any of the things we talked about in there actually happened. I don't know. I don't know what's in it.
I can't. Well, that was also when we used to do it actually live. So there's definitely going to be some differences.
We may have recorded this when you were at my house that time. I don't know. I don't remember anything about this. So we're going to listen to it in the post show. I thought the auditors would get a kick out of it.
One of my favorite things is listening to myself.
I know.
So
that's
I won't
why
cringe at all.
I said it's going to be torture for us and they'll love it. So
oh God,
that's our penance for you auditors. We're going to put ourselves through torture for you. But first we have to do some daily Whinnies. Well, if we're at episode 3500, that means that we have done 7,000 daily Whinnies. That's a lot.
Oh my God. Well, we didn't start at the beginning.
No, so we've probably only
Whinnies.
done about 4,000 or 5,000 daily Whinnies. So that makes it better. Huh? Well, I don't have any birthdays today. No auditor birthdays today, but we do have a brand new auditor. He signed up as Old Jim. So welcome to the party, Old Jim. We're glad you're here.
my daily when he goes out. It's just, I know there's so many of you that listen to this that don't have kids, but there's also many of you that listen to this that do have kids.
Oh, I've seen a lot of our listeners posting first day of school pictures.
Yeah. I mean, you have to as a parent. You're a bad parent if you don't, because you save that. And then every year Facebook memories pop up and you can compare your kids. So it's like really fun to post the pictures. And I'm seeing a lot of you post like, oh, I don't have kids, so here's my animal. Here's this. That's fine. That's cool. But just understand that some of us parents, we still have to do that because we'll be blacklisted as parents if we don't post. So I dropped Lucas off today of his first day at middle school, Glenn.
Really?
Middle school, yes.
He was just born on this show a little bit ago.
I know. Talk about feeling old. I mean, so he is actually, funny enough, he skipped a grade because of COVID. I like homeschooled him and got him way far ahead. He loved it not. So because of that, he skipped a grade and he's been in class with girls that are almost 2 years older than him because he's a May birthday. So he's really young in this class. He's like youngest in this class anyway. And then compound that with skipping a grade. So we found a new school to send him to. He went from 7 kids in his class to being in a middle school today. Like there's probably 4. I mean, it's still a smaller school, but there's 40 kids in his class just there. And it was like, I had to take him into school today and it was just like lockers and then like kids everywhere and everybody knows each other except for him. I feel, and he was
so
like,
is he
cool.
in public school now?
No, it's still a private school, but it's
a bigger
like
private school.
Yeah. Oh my God. So I used to drive to go to this other school that had like 7 kids in the class, which were all older than him. I used to drive half an hour one way. This school is 5 minutes from my gate.
You're not going to know what to do with all your extra time.
I'm like, I'm going to pick them up with horses and leave them in the cross ties. Like, this is going to be great. So it's 5 minutes away, which is fantastic. But they didn't have any spots open in 7th. So he's repeating 6th grade. So he went up and then now he's back down and they'll farm him out to classes if he needs to go. But currently he's taking Mandarin as his first class this morning and Latin is his class this afternoon.
What kind of school is this? Is it a speech? Is it like a language school?
No, it's just Mandarin. Like they have to take electives of language and he starts with Mandarin and at the end of the year he finishes with Latin. And so it's going to be like, so I'm like, you're not going to need to go to other classes. You'll be fine. You'll be learning new stuff.
First of all, I'm still shocked that any school in Oklahoma offers Mandarin.
Yeah, well, this is that kind of school. So we knew the school was here, but we couldn't afford it. And then they started doing the vouchers for a private school this year. So that's why we're at this school, because all of a sudden it became it's free money, so they give us some money for it. So that's good. But yeah, he was horrified that he was repeating 6th grade. And then, so today he's in there and,
he might be glad he did though. He'll have it easier. He'll already know the answers.
I'm just happy for him that he'll be around girls his age instead of like 2 years older on the period and grumpy, but I'm in this school. And there's all these kids and the lockers and everybody's bustling around and busy. And Chad and Anna and I are in there with him. And he's just like totally kind of like shell shocked. And so we go to Lee. I'm like, all right, man. I'm like, I got to get out of here. I'm going to embarrass him because I'm going to like smooch him in the mouth and like, but I love you so much. Like, I'll be that mom, So we walk out and I'm like, oh my God, nobody's talking to him. Nobody's talking to him. The second we walked out the door, we looked back and he was surrounded by 4 girls. He'll be fine.
He'll be fine. I still have nightmares to this day of not remembering what class I was going to go to next at high school.
Oh man. Well, I gave him a schedule. I was like, we went to like a back to school night. So we get to walk around, see all his classes, meet his teachers. I mean, he's still young, so
it's still not a big school either. I mean, compared to when you and I went to, when we had a graduating class of 500,
inner city high school I went to. So no, but he can't, but the problem is going from a school where there's 7 people in your class to like, where that's happening, like it's a big transition. I mean, he might lose his mind if he went to a public school because that would just blow his brains. Like, whew. But anyway, it's
where you literally do get lost going to class.
Yeah. Walking Anna around her high school, I was like, oh God. I just have like post-traumatic stress.
I would too. I used to have to go back. I coached tennis after I graduated high school, so I had to go back to the school, and it was like, I really don't want to be here.
No. I didn't even go to this high school. I was like, get me out of here.
I got to ask you, this is the most exciting thing. You broke Anna in to Oklahoma in a big way this weekend. You said on Friday you were going to go to the horse races at one of the best tracks in the country. Yes. And then also you were going to take her to the chicken auction, which we all heard about here on this show. Yes. So which was the one that you said you would think left the most lasting impression on Anna?
Well, both for different reasons. So we went to the track and it was so hot. So we spent inside Horse and Hound Rescue, had a booth set up. So we were visiting with them, and then we go out and watch the race and go to the paddock. And I made a severely large amount of donations to Remington Park. Like, I
thought you were going to say you made a lot of money, but no,
it was embarrassing. Like, poor Anna thinks I'm this. Here I am, like, my horse came in dead last. I even bet the wrong number. I picked number 4 and I bet number 5. I was trying to bet for the kids so I give me each $20, and I was like, spend as much as you want on the races. When it's gone. Or if you want to like bet a race and then keep the rest, which is what Lucas did. He bet a couple, lost it all, but Anna was into it. And of all of us, there was Ginger, Brooklyn, Lucas, me, and Anna, and one person won one race the whole night, and that was Anna. So yay, she was the big winner. She won $5.
Was that her first horse race ever?
Oh yeah, she's never been to a horse race before, and it's fun because Remington Park is like, there's not a lot of people there, so you walk right up to the finish line, you walk right out to the paddock, you watch them walk around, you can like literally talk to the people out there. So
a little different than going to Keeneland on closing day, huh?
Oh yeah, big time. And then the chicken auction, it was the hottest day of the year here, so we went in the evening.
Wasn't it like 106 or something?
Yeah, sure was. And then you're in a poultry auction facility, and they've got like, fans going. And they had like rules with the animals, like they had fans all over the animals back in the back. Anyway, I saw something that I needed. And I was like, this has to be mine. And I took the kids up and I'm like, we're going home with this. And they were like, oh my God, that's so cool. And it's a Muscovy duck, my favorite ducks. A mama and her 4 tiny babies. No. Like 4 ducklings, and I'm just going to be there in this little crate, I'm like, well, it has to be mine. That has to be mine. And April, who's listening, she's been to the chicken auction with me and she knows how I get. And Lucas was like, they don't know what they have coming. And I was like, I will bleed before I will leave this place without that mama and her babies. So they come up on the block and the bidding starts, and it just keeps going. And I see this guy who's bidding against me. Everybody was bidding, and then like everybody died, because I'm like, I will spend $1 million on these baby ducks. Like, I don't care. I am leaving with these babies. Anyway, so comes up, they're selling, everybody's bidding, and I just put my hand up like, yeah. I don't even know what bidding's at. I just, yep. Because the problem is I had cash, Glenn. And here's I'm going to give you ladies a piece of information about cash. Like I listen to Dave Ramsey, and he always says, spend the cash, because it's like, harder to part with cash than it is to run the cart through. And I find that is completely opposite.
I agree with you.
See, here's the thing, Glenn, and I want to hear if any other listeners feel like this as well. Okay, so like my money in my account is there, and I know it's in my account. So the cash, it's like it's free. It doesn't matter, because it's not counted towards the actual amount of money that I have. So the cash is expendable because it's already gone out of the account. It's already gone, Glenn. So I can just spend it. So anyway, I had cash. I had a couple $100, and I was like, I will hurt somebody. So anyway, I start bidding. Of course I win. Okay. I don't want to talk about what I spent.
Yeah.
On
how many hundreds
ducks.
of dollars did you spend on some ducks?
Oh, no. Most things at the chicken auction go for 12.
Okay.
I think I spent 80. So I was like, I'm going to spend $100.
But that's 5 ducks.
Yeah. It's fine. There's no arguing with me. But I did go at you. So afterwards, you have to go get them and put them in your crate. So I go to get them. And this guy comes up to me and he was like, I was bidding against you. I said, yeah, I know. But I wasn't leaving here without them. And he was like, I can't believe you spent $80 on four baby ducks and a mama. And I was like, what mama wants. Mama gets. And he goes, I kind of thought that, which is why I quit bidding. I was like, somebody's going to have to drag me out of here with my hair, by my hair without these baby ducks. I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving without them. Anyway, Lucas has named them all. So there's Mama and Duck Nugget 1, Duck Nugget 2, 3, and 4. Yeah. Really sweet.
What did Anna think of the sights at the auction?
So she's from northern Germany, which is, I think the high temperature typically is like 72 in her town. So she's struggled a little bit, like, to be fair. So we actually bought the ducks and left. Like, we were there an hour because it was so hot.
They don't have air conditioning there either. Do they have fans at all?
No, there's fans. That was it.
Yeah.
But I showed her how to have tenacity. And if you want something, you go for it, girl. You go for it.
That was a lesson. It was a lesson. Yes.
Now, to be honest, I can't just leave with like one purchase. So these two chickens came up and I was like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. And so I just bid on them and I got them for $2 a piece. And I was like, that's weird that I just got full grown chickens for $2 a piece. But I was kind of an impulse. Like it's fine. I'll take, $2. I'll take it. They're roosters. So that's cool. I can't go without making a mistake. I just get
You
too
deserve
excited.
that one.
And so I bought them and Ginger's like, what did you do? I'm like, they were $2. She was like, they're roosters. I was like, what? So that's fun.
Well, you know what?
They're
That
so
coyote
young.
was hanging around in the field. Maybe you put the roosters out there.
Speaking of the coyote, he was in my backyard last night, like right outside the fence.
Oh.
And I was like, and the dogs were going crazy. And I walked out and I'm just like, I put my big girl pants on. I walked out there and I was like, hey, go away. I went out in that pasture, Glenn, and I chased that coyote out of my entire pasture. I mean, and I came back. I have 9 million mosquito bites because I
Did you bring your
grass.
Did you bring your salt gun with you just in case?
I should have been armed. You're right. I didn't have my salt gun. I thought about it actually. I was like, I should be carrying that, but it happened so fast, and he's huge. But maybe I'll give him some roosters. That's a good idea.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe put them in an open cage out in the middle of the field. At least you'll feed them something.
No, they're actually really sweet, and they can handle them, and they can pick them up and everything. And I love them.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, your neighbor will love them too. The grumpy neighbor's going to love them.
I don't care.
Ditch the mats and upgrade to WERM flooring systems. It's a constant struggle with heavy rubber mats. You know, you have to move them around in your trailer. You have to pick them up. You're supposed to clean underneath them. Yes, people, you are supposed to clean underneath your mats in your trailer, whether you have a wood floor or an aluminum floor. Either one, you're actually supposed to clean the pee out from underneath the mats. I know we never do, and that's why you need WERM flooring. WERM flooring system solves that problem. Say goodbye to rubber mats and hello to WERM flooring systems. It's kind of a rubberized flooring that they put on your floor, but there's no gaps anymore. You don't have to clean under it because you can't even get under it. So no liquid seep through, and you know that urine really can kill an aluminum frame, but it also kills wood. I mean, we've replaced a few wood floors over the years in our trailers. It's slip resistant. It provides grip. It's cushioned. It provides a cushioning too. It's durable. It's built to last. You got yours in almost a year ago now. Is yours still doing all right?
I love it. I'm so grateful to have it. So
just
nice.
hose it out, right? You don't have to worry about it. Plus, it helps insulate the trailer. It's a perfect choice for all applications all over your property. You can put it in your barn roof, floor, rather. You can put it in your trailer floor. You can put it in your tack room floor. It doesn't matter. They will do it anywhere. WERM Flooring Systems. You can find them at wormflooring.com. That stands for We Eliminate Rubber Mats. You can find a dealer near you at wormflooring.com. So next up is a listener. We wanted today to be about listeners, and this is a little more serious than ones I've done in the past. But I thought the message. I just woke up this morning. I've had this for about a month now. Jessica and I were talking about this about a month ago. Her name's Jessica Isbrecht. She's one that travels all over the world with her horses. She lived out of her horse trailer for how many years? You know, traveling around the country riding her horses. Well, she's over in Europe now, and she's also her and her husband are both serious mountain mountain climbers. I mean, serious mountain climbers. And she has a website that's called Ride and Climb. And she posted this on her personal page, and I asked her if she'd record it for me.
It's only 2.5 minutes,
yeah,
so it's not like...
Yeah, it's 2.5 minutes, but I'll tell you what, this had to be hard for her to record too, but I just thought somebody needed to hear this message today, and we'll chat a little bit about it after she's done, so here it is.
Today, on what would have been my late mother's 79th birthday, I'm reminded of how fleeting life truly is. My mother was a woman of immense strength, working tirelessly throughout her whole life. She sacrificed so much, always believing that she would one day have the time to relax, explore her passions, and savor the moments she had postponed. She thought she had time, but life in its unpredictable nature had other plans. She passed away at 67, far too soon, long before she ever got the chance to enjoy the life she had so carefully planned. Her story is a poignant reminder that we never really know how much time we have. We often fall into the trap of believing that tomorrows are guaranteed, that we can wait for the right moment to pursue our dreams, our passions, our happiness. But the truth is, life doesn't always give us that luxury. It moves quickly, and sometimes it ends before we're ready. It's this realization that led me to abandon the traditional path that society often prescribes. I no longer wanted to spend my days waiting for a future that might never come. Instead, I've chosen to live as a nomad, embracing the freedom and uncertainty of life. Every day is a new adventure, every moment a gift. I no longer live for someday, I live for today. However, it's important to acknowledge that we can't be happy all the time. Life is a complex journey, filled with highs and lows, joy and sorrow. Sadness, grief, and even depression are part of the human experience. These emotions are unavoidable, and it's okay to feel them. What matters is that we don't take life and time for granted, even in our moments of sadness. Living fully doesn't mean being happy all the time. It means embracing every aspect of life, including the difficult moments. It's about finding meaning and purpose, even when the road is rough, understanding that every emotion we experience is part of our journey. We can't control the passage of time, but we can choose how we spend the time we have, whether in joy or in sorrow. My mother taught me the importance of hard work and dedication, but her life also taught me the importance of seizing the day and not waiting for the right time to live the life we want. Even in the darkest times, we must remember that life is precious, a fleeting gift. So today, in her memory, I encourage everyone to reflect on the fleeting nature of life. Don't wait for tomorrow to start living. Embrace the uncertainty, cherish the present, and make the most of the time you have, even when it's hard. Life is too short to be anything but fulfilled, even if that fulfillment includes moments of sadness. So here's to living fully, embracing it all, here and now.
Now you see why I had to record it.
So that's exactly what losing my mother said to me, but just not in quite as elegant, beautiful way. My thing was, my mind was probably a lot more negative, because my mother's passing was not quick. It took 9 months of utter torture. You would not do that to an animal. Like, I mean, but what I did learn from that is what I've said on the show, before, which is we are marching towards death. Like I spent 9 months in like senior care and ICUs and just awful situations and hospice and all the things. And Jessica said it so much more beautifully than I ever did, but that is, it's all short. Like it's a blink. And live it.
Yet
like
I feel
today.
I feel that you've done this, and I'll tell you when I feel that you started to live this was when you went to Monty Roberts.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
That's when you said, "Okay, I'm going to put all the other stuff aside, and I'm going to do this." And you were, were you 40 then?
Yeah, I got certified at 40.
Yeah. So, I mean, you were, it's like this was a second thing, right? Or third thing. In our case, probably a 10th thing. But you did it. And I think that's when you really started living what you wanted to do. What she said, living what you wanted to do, what you thought you were meant to do.
Well, the part about going to Monty's is that I knew what I wanted to do. I just couldn't do it. Like, I didn't know how to do it.
Right.
So yeah, I would, but my husband encouraged me to go get the education, and Debbie Laux was amazing in encouraging me, and everybody just pushed me towards it. And even I fought it because I was like, I can't do this. I'm too old. I'm too old to start this new chapter. And here I am, 46 on my farm, and I'm booked up through next April with horses to train. And so I'm just like, yeah, I'm doing exactly what I want. You're right. But even like, not even just for job, like this is just like, I mean.
But I mean, Anna's a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
That's why I was going to, saying you, I think of everybody I know have done this.
I wanted those ducks, Glenn.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I want baby ducks right now. And I'm going to live the best life that I have. And I'm going to buy the damn ducks. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's stuff like that. Like, it doesn't have to be huge. It can be small. I mean, obviously make sure that you're financially going to be able to take care of yourself when you're older, because that was another problem with my mom. And they always say the greatest gift that you can give your kids is to be financially stable in your senior years. And once you've got that, that's why Chad has a motorcycle now, and he just bought a boat. Cause I'm like, if you can do it, do it. Because
see, this is something I don't think I've ever had a problem with. I mean, look at me. I started an acting company. All the different things I've done in life are things that were challenging because usually when I did them, we were one of the first to do them. So I like creating things. So that's something I've done over and over and over again. Now, some have been a lot more successful than others, but that's what Jessica was talking about, right?
Yeah.
I learned from the ones we failed at, and probably lost our shirts on. But I learned from those and learned to do it better next time.
What's amazing to me is that you found a partner and me too, but like, you were a businessman when she met you, like you were
yes.
in the financial world, and she thought she was marrying this successful financial guy. And you're like, hey, you know what we should do? Anything else.
Yeah.
Like everything else.
Tired of that.
And my husband was in the Air Force, living in an apartment, driving to work like Tom Cruise on a motorcycle, going to be a fighter pilot. And now he's driving a damn tractor right now. So you just never know. But like, it's nice to find that person that supports you and encourages you. And I can't believe Jennifer stayed with you this long.
Yeah, I know.
Lord.
Me too, either. I can't either, to be honest. But Jessica found that too, our listener who read that. Her husband is a mountain climber, and he said it's as adventurous as she is, or that wouldn't have worked, right? I mean, you can't be a nomad like, she is, truly a nomad, has no house, no place to live, and travels around. Yet I admire her because she's a badass. Yeah. I mean, I hope somebody got something out of that today.
Well, it definitely touched my heart because it's just something that I get. But we're talking about partners, but even if you don't have a partner, it doesn't mean you can't go live your best life. Like, live it. I mean, just, you want to do it, do it. Life is not getting any shorter, any longer. Like, this is it. Sorry, I can get pretty heavy on this kind of stuff, and I'm trying not to get a little dark, but I mean, some of the things that I saw just made me go, I'm not going to be there. I'm not going to be that person. I'm not going out like this. Yeah. I mean, I want a DNR signed when I'm 60. I'm like, don't
I have
drag
mine.
This thing out. Do you?
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about why don't you?
Everybody, we love you.
Yes.
We love all of you. Thank you for being here, Glenn. I love you. 3,500 episodes. Again, for those who haven't heard, when I got this job, my husband said, what are you going to do? You're doing a podcast.
Did you tell him
horses.
we were at 3,500?
I did. You know what's weird? So anyway, what he said was, you're doing a podcast about horses. What are you going to talk about after 2 weeks? I'm like, 35. So I rub that in his face all the time. So like, he's downstairs and he was getting ready to go out. And I said, hey, by the way, it's our 35th 100 episode. That's really hard to say. It's our 3,500th episode. He's like, I mean, it's just so amazing that we've been able to do this, and we're so lucky we've been able to do this so long, and the listeners and sponsors are the reasons. And so anyway, you guys are all awesome.
Thank you all. Why don't you talk about one of our sponsors and their probiotics, and I will get another listener on the line.
All right. Well, there's more talk than ever about the importance of probiotics in equine health, but not all probiotics are created equal. New Purina Systemic Supplement remains live and active after the pelleting process and throughout the digestive system, making it all the way to the hind gut. Systemic was designed to support normal recovery after exercise and occasional gastrointestinal stress. Whether you're using a new probiotic or not, it's time to use a live and active supplement from a name you trust. New Purina Systemic Probiotic.
Well, coming up, we have another one of our terrific auditors and listeners. I think she's been a listener for a long time. Her name is Taylor Benson. That's a brand new name because one of the things I wanted to talk to Taylor about, we'll talk about standardbreds and horses later. Okay, Taylor? But I was on your Facebook page. You have the most beautiful pictures of your wedding, which you had in Ireland at this grand estate. Tell us about that.
Hi, guys. Thanks so much for having me. Yeah, we'll get to the horses and the more fun stuff in a second, but to get that out of the way, so my husband, Liam, and I just got married on July 20th in Ireland at the Carton House estate. So he is a first-generation American. His entire family is over in Ireland, so made for an exciting destination wedding for American family and friends.
Oh, and do the Irish drink as much at weddings as they do all other times?
Oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe it.
Now, I did notice, I mean, these pictures are beautiful, Jamie. You have to go to her Facebook page.
Oh my God,
it's stunning.
I'm there now. It's a castle. You got married at Windsor Castle, but in Ireland.
Essentially.
So now you did do one post though that said about the nightmares in the week of the wedding. Is there any of those you can talk about?
Oh man, we don't have enough time to go through all of them. We'll start with the highlights. So our flight going out of America to there was canceled on a Saturday night. So we ended up flying through Edinburgh. So we added an accidental country to our destination list. And then our bags didn't get there until the fourth day. So we made it to Ireland, probably just about 12 hours late, but our bags made it there 4 days later. Thankfully I had my wedding dress and a carry-on, which I almost didn't do, but I had that, so we were good to go. But unfortunately, that felt a little formal for most of the attire I was looking to wear those 4 days of bags.
So the whole lead up to your wedding, you had no clothes.
No clothes, nothing, and not just clothes. I mean, we had like wedding decor in there. We had some gifts for some of the guests. It was a whole bunch of stuff. So that was probably the main issue. And then, but it was eventually resolved. Shout out to United for, not doing anything to help with that. And then no, we were good for a while. And then of course we were planning to have our wedding outside, and we did. You saw the photos. The ceremony was outside, but so we got married on Saturday, and by Thursday evening it was 100% chance of rain all day Saturday. And that's not usually a thing in Ireland. You expect mist, but it was all day. It is going to pour. So it was a little bit of a miracle. Like as I came up in a horse and carriage to the ceremony, and it was pouring the entire ride over for my dad and I in the carriage. We were undercover, thankfully. And the second we got there and stepped out of the carriage, it was like the clouds parted, everything was beautiful, and we had a sunny ceremony.
Wow, this is a movie in the making, right?
Yeah, it's something like that. People keep joking like that in like the fairy tale-esque part, but I don't know if you guys ever saw Leap Year, which is a comically tragic movie in a similar fashion about a wedding in Ireland. And it's just like all of the terrible things going wrong along the way. And of course it has a happy ending. And I'm thinking maybe it's time to redo that one.
Well, congratulations. Now, was he a horse guy?
Thank you. He is, yeah. So Liam grew up in Ocala, and he trained thoroughbreds through college, and then he sold stallion seasons at TaylorMade for California Chrome, and not this time. And now he does equine and farm insurance. So it keeps him in the horse scene, in addition to being my lead horse show groom, of course.
Yeah, of course. Of course. And you work for Equibase. Is that how you met him?
No, we met move-in day of college 12 years ago. We were both moving into University of Louisville to study equine business management, and this is just kind of like a funny meet cute story. But I showed up to unload my stuff into my dorm in my horse trailer, of course. And suddenly my parents and I had this 6'4" guy helping us carry everything to the second floor. So that was pretty convenient. And we were just friends ever since. And then, I don't know, 10 years later, I finally decided to go out on a date with him. And here we are.
This is a fairy tale story. It really is. Well, good for you, Taylor. And congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So now Jennifer booked you because we wanted to talk about this next thing. And I said, well, if we ever get to Standardbreds, we'll be lucky because, the whole wedding was just beautiful. So let's talk about Standardbreds. And basically, we also want to talk to you about the Standardbred Pleasure Horse Organization National Show. Now, you're a Jersey girl, right?
Originally from New Jersey. I live in Kentucky now because, horses. But no, I grew up in New Jersey.
Yeah. Now that the Standardbred organization that we're talking about is out of New Jersey, and that's where they do the national show.
Yeah, so it's the Standardbred Pleasure Horse Organization of New Jersey. There's a few other SPHOs around the country in a handful of states, but I believe we are the largest in terms of membership and all of the things. And we're not just limited to people in New Jersey. We welcome members and competitors from everywhere, of course. But yes, so the SPHO NJ is a 501c3 founded to promote the Standardbred pleasure and competitive riding and driving. So it was founded 30 years ago this year, in 1994, with a mission to educate the equine community on the versatility and suitability of Standardbreds for careers after racing and just sort of bring visibility to that. And so part of that, to support our mission, we host the National Standardbred Horse Show every year, which this year will be September 20th through the 22nd at the Horse Park of New Jersey. And this will also be the 30th consecutive year of the National Standardbred Horse Show.
Are they getting more popular for adoption?
Incredibly so. I always like to say my little, elevator pitch is the Standardbreds aren't quite where the Thoroughbreds are in aftercare. I think the Thoroughbred Makeover did a huge amount. I think, this is factual. The Thoroughbred Makeover did such an incredible job of bringing awareness to the Thoroughbreds and not just awareness, but an aftermarket resale value because people realize what they are and what they could get. And the Standardbreds aren't quite there yet, but there's so many initiatives that are absolutely on track to make that happen. And we've seen an incredible rise in, adoptions and horses. Every year we see so many more horses, new faces coming to the show that are people who have been in the industry forever and just decided it's time to start with a Standardbred. And we love to see that.
So how many entries would you have at a show like this year?
So we are expecting a little over 100 horses, probably around 120 horses and around 150 exhibitors. But when you say entries, I have to kind of laugh because these horses are so versatile. I'd say on average, each horse competes in maybe 25 classes over the weekend. So that's quite a bit if you do the math on that.
Bring the horse, might as well show it and everything.
Exactly. Yeah. And they can do it all. Almost all of them do it all.
Tell us about your horse. You sent me a bunch of pictures. I'm going to post one of them in the show notes.
Yeah, of course. Ask a girl to talk about her horse, and I'm not going to stop talking for 20 minutes. So my Standardbred is named Pembroke Sparkle. We call him Sparky affectionately because Pembroke Sparkle is, not the most manly name. But
no,
he's a 2012 Standardbred. He's a 2012 model. He was born in Maine. They brought him down to Florida to train. He never made it past the qualifiers. He is built like a warm blood, and just if you looked at him, he was never going to go anywhere fast, which is what I love about him. So he was given to the person that I ended up getting him from down in Florida, who gave him a wonderful foundation. And took him to a few horse shows and just really, really made him into a show horse. And I had the opportunity to take over the ride on him about 2.5 years ago. And we've done, oh my gosh, he's just such a horse of a lifetime. We've done a little bit of everything. We do the hunters, the dressage, the jumping, some Western pleasure, ranch riding, driving. I'm sure I've missed something, but he's just totally a jack of all trades. And I went through a point in my life where I got a little too serious into horse showing and got so burnt out from it and quite honestly was a little sick of horses because of it. And I knew that's not where I wanted to end my career in horses. And Sparky has just totally brought me back to this fun level of horse showing where it's just like, it's never stressful. It's never difficult. You ask him to do it and he does it. You teach him something and he remembers it the next time. And it's been so fun on this journey with him.
So if you're going to sell Standardbreds to people, would that be the key thing that you would bring up? Is they're so versatile, they can do everything?
Completely versatile. And the other thing that I think is, in my mind, I think the most important is their brain. They have the best brain ever. So, there's two things that I think are really important to culminate together to have, quote unquote, the perfect horse. I think you have to have talent, but a lot of horses have talent and don't have the right brain. And the Standardbreds are just so easygoing and calm. They're not spooky. They don't get frazzled. They don't get nervous. Like even when they're coming off the racetrack and they're not fully trained horses, they're super, super green under saddle. They are safe. You could put a kid on them and know that kid is going to be safe on this horse because they just know to take care of them. And that to me is the most important part, because talent, there's an aptitude for talent that can be taught. And you can teach almost any horse anything, but to have the brain that can take that in stride is so important. And that's my favorite part about it.
So basically, Taylor, you're saying that Jamie picked the wrong breed to do retraining for.
Hey, we all have our things.
I think I like to kind of, I don't know, I kind of like in my brain, the lazy way out is the Standardbred, because there's so much less going on, like you don't have to worry about calming the brain there.
But see, what I hear with you and your horse is when I hear people describe their horse the way that you did, it goes back to the common theme of nobody has lied to him. Okay. Nobody has lied to him. Everybody has been kind and consistent with him. And like I have two thoroughbreds here. One is so great. And the other one, somebody lied to him. And he is he's going to take some extra work and some extra TLC. And even if somebody has lied to a Standardbred, they do have that brain of like, whatever. Whereas thoroughbreds, exactly, I describe the thoroughbreds and Arabians, like people always go, I don't like those horses. And it's because I always say it's because they're not good enough. They're not good enough to train a horse with nerves right under its skin and the sensitivity, whereas Standardbreds are more of the warm blood kind of mentality of like, okay, I'll just do it. Like, it's going to be fine. And that is every Standardbred I've been around. It has just been such a pleasure to be around.
That's exactly it. And I've had a couple, Sparky is my third or fourth Standardbred. I can't remember, but I've had two that I can pinpoint that were absolutely lied to quote you, Jamie. And they showed it in their, you knew it, but they would never act on it. If
they internalize it more. Yeah. Internalize it.
Internalize and just, yes.
Introverted versus extroverts.
Exactly. But oh man, no, Sparky has never been lied to. He has lived a comfortable life and it is so obvious. But I love that for him.
I know. And that's why I wish people you could have more Sparkies in the world if people would bring them up just in a kinder way,
Exactly. And I think sort of to that point, a lot of the Standardbreds, I think just recently are getting into the hands of more educated riders. I think the educated riders are now seeking them out, where before it's not that they intentionally weren't, but there was just not so much of an awareness about it. And when you put a horse like that with so much potential in the hands of an educated rider, the potential for them to have these incredible show careers or even just be high level riding horses is incredible. And we weren't seeing this before, not because it didn't exist or somehow the breed changed. I think it's just putting them in the hands of educated people. Mm-hmm. And any horse you give that opportunity is going to flourish.
And do they come in two varieties, trotters and pacers, or are all of them pacers, or all of them trotters, or what?
No, there's two varieties. There's trotters and pacers. So I've had both. I find that the trotters are actually, so I'll start with the pacers. There's this misconception, the pacers don't canter, they won't canter, it's hard to do. I find, so before we get to the cantering, the pacers, when they trot, are far nicer trotters. They are better movers at the trot for sure when they are trotting. And they're extremely easy. Usually, unless they're a three-legged pacer, and there's only a small percentage of them that are, the horses want to trot. They don't intentionally want to pace when they're under saddle. And then the cantering, it's just like any horse. If you teach them, the biomechanics and give them everything in their toolbox to build up their hind end and learn how to use the muscles before you ever call on them and ask them to use the muscles, the cantering comes easily. And it's just something that it's another thing that when you give them an education, a proper education, they come up like any other horse.
That's nice.
And then the trotters, and the trotters are exactly the same. I'd say the trotters probably need a little less of that. Of course, they still need the education in the hind end and learning how to move before you ask them to do it, and just expect them to know something that they never had to do. But the trotters are, I would say, probably a little bit easier to make that transition. But the pacers, if you can invest the time in them, they end up being better movers.
That's the first pony I had would break into a pace every once in a while because he basically was on the pony racing circuit at the fairs and was a pacer, but wouldn't do it all the time. But every once in a while would break into it in the cart, and that feels different when you're in the cart. It does feel different.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I find that occasionally when they get nervous, even a horse that never paces under saddle, sometimes when they get nervous, they revert to the pace, and it's just like it's them. You can kind of see you can visibly see what's going on inside of their brain because of this bit that's coming out and culminating in a pace. But that it's pretty rare. They don't frazzle very easily.
So if somebody's interested in the Standardbred and adoption, where do they go?
So I would recommend the Standardbred Transition Alliance. So they have many approved organizations that are taking them, rehoming them. And so there's so many of them. I don't want to call anyone out specifically and accidentally miss any one of them. But that is a great place to go. And there's so many that are available. Of course, there's also obviously the option to get them right from the racetrack if you have any connections there, and just give them a soft landing.
And it's standardbredtransition.org is the website, and I'll put that in the show notes as well. You're a great spokesperson for the Standardbred. Well done.
Thanks.
Well done.
It's a passion project of mine. I just really love horses, and I really love Standardbred.
Glenn, it's really hard to believe that a girl who loves a particular kind of horse can talk about them very willingly and freely and openly and comfortably. Like
crazy.
Weird.
You've never had that before.
No, it's crazy.
I'm glad you know what? We picked two good listeners to have on episode 3500 today, Taylor.
Well, I want a Standardbred now, damn it. I'm on the Transition Alliance Facebook page. Are there horses listed?
I would love for you to have a Standardbred. This would be, because I know you guys have a huge following, and you specifically have a huge following, and through Facebook, and you document your training process so wonderfully. It would be so neat to see you go through that with the Standardbred.
It would be interesting,
horses, Glenn.
Actually.
We're marching towards death, Glenn. I need more horses.
Maybe we could finally convince her that driving is a cool thing with the Standardbred.
No, we tried that. No.
Taylor, I think we're going to have to work on that one for a while.
I understand. I personally, driving, it freaks me out. I've driven some super seasoned driving horses and some not super seasoned, and it doesn't matter. It still freaks me out. I feel like I have no control, even when I know in my brain I'm totally safe. The horse knows what's going on. I feel like I have no control.
It's terrifying. You people are all crazy. I'm going to go jump cross country in 2 weeks. I entered an ace in a horse show, and I'm going to go jump cross country, and that's way better than sitting by a horse.
I agree. Well, good luck with that, because I've been following that journey for you as well.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, girl. All
Taylor,
right, we're friends
thank
on
you.
Facebook now. Thank you. Find me a Standardbred.
I will. Do you have any color preference? I know that helps sometimes. I'll send them your way.
I mean, at this point, I only have gray horses in my field, so I'll mix it up or keep it the same. I don't care.
Seems like you need another gray. We love that.
Oh, God. I can't tell them apart in the pasture. Ridiculous.
And thank you, Taylor, for listening. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much.
Your horse's health deserves the highest standard of quality. That's why Nutramax, the makers of Cosequin, maintain their own world-class manufacturing facilities in the United States, where they far exceed what is required of supplement companies. Nutramax works with top universities and researchers in their fields to make sure your horse has nothing but the highest quality supplements. With the mission of improving the lives of people and their horses, each product is backed by more than 80 quality checks and guaranteed to meet label claims, so you can purchase with confidence. With over 30 years behind Cosequin name, you can rely on Cosequin products for when performance matters. Visit Cosequin.com to learn more.
Recharge your training program with Equestrian Plus. Equestrian Plus brings together top riders, trainers, and professionals onto one video platform. Watch over 5,000 how-to training videos, clinic and event footage, exclusive training sessions, and more, featuring top experts including 5-time dressage Olympian Stefan Peters, 5-time Olympic show jumper Ann Krasinski, Olympic eventer and silver medalist William Fox Pitt, and more. Join Equestrian Plus now and use promo code HRN15 for 15% off your first month. Visit EquestrianPlusPLUS.com to subscribe.
It's time for the weekly look at your equestrian first world problems. This ought to be good.
Usually is. Basically what happens is I put up a post on the HRN Auditors Facebook page and you get to complain about your problems, and it's cathartic and we enjoy reading them. And most of the time we're going to make fun of you. So if you want to participate in this fun event, how do they become an auditor?
They just go to horseradionetwork.com, scroll down the middle of the page, you'll see the auditor banner there, and for as little as $3 a month, you too can join the party. Just like, what's his name? Old Jim did.
Old Jim. Old Dan. Way to go, old Jim. Okay, so some of these, I had to weed out a lot of serious problems. So this one's kind of serious, but it's still the same kind of like first world kind of feel. And that's Janelle. She says, North Carolina has been in a drought until recently. We got tons of rain, fantastic grass, and abscesses.
It is kind of a real problem, but it's on a first world horse. So there you go.
Well, Hillary, here we go. Yesterday, I bought a spontaneous helmet, and I didn't tell my husband. If I can keep it in the car until tomorrow night when I take it to the barn, it's like I didn't buy a new helmet, right?
He'll never know.
I mean, if you do get busted, be like, I'm trying to stay alive for you. Okay.
Right. My old one expired. He'll never know. Just tell him it was over 5 years old. Expired.
I need a new one, too. I actually saw a picture of myself 5 years ago, like on Facebook Memories, and it was the same helmet.
Oh, yeah, it's time.
It's time. Yeah. Christina said, I bought a house, but I can't move into said house due to repairs, and the repairs are keeping me from riding since I have to do all the work myself.
You and I both can't move into our houses. That is a first world problem.
Debbie says,
actually, it becomes a real world problem when you can't move in for a long time.
Well, but the fact that you guys are buying houses, that's first world. Like,
it is true. It is true.
Especially in this market right now, things are crazy. There's a farm up the street from me. It's like 100 acres and it's a decent house. It's $7 million. What? $7 million. Oh, fine. Somebody, good luck. It's been sitting for a minute, not going to lie. Debbie says, absolutely everything is here I could possibly need to feed and groom my new horse, who arrived with his really beautiful long tail full of dreadlocks. But I'm out of detangler.
There is no other way.
One of these horse and hound horses, I have the opposite problem. Oh my God, he has 7 tail hairs. Like, I mean, I almost could count them. It's so, I was like, how do you know? Oh, poor thing. Alicia says, my local Dover is having a tent sale soon, but I don't know if my friends can meet me there to go to buy stuff we don't need together. Yeah, because if you're going to go buy stuff you don't need, you need a group of people. Like, I remember I was at Land Rover Defender Rolex, Kentucky this past year, and I found a pair of stirrups that were, oh my God, so beautiful. They were like the safety stirrup, but they look like Terminator type Tony Stark stirrups. They were so cool. And they were $450. Wow. $450. I was like, I can't spend that.
For stirrups.
And my friend Larissa is like, obviously you can, because they're going to last you forever. You're going to have them forever. Just buy the stirrups. You're marching towards death. So I didn't buy them, but I think about them all the time.
There's a price for everything. That's over the price.
That's over the price for stirrups. But
how much did you pay? Cool. You didn't pay that much for your first saddle.
No. Lilith says, last fall, my husband got us a salt gun. We talked about the bug assaults. Yes. It's the most fun thing in my entire house. She said, last fall, my husband got us a salt gun, but this year, the flies haven't been bad.
I need to get one of those.
It's so fun. JMO says, I started looking at Facebook Marketplace to find some really bad ads, but I haven't been finding any. So instead, Marketplace has been my new social media addiction to see what hilarious items that Facebook thinks I'm interested in. And it's taking up so much of my time, I still haven't found any really bad ads.
Oh, it is a deep hole, Facebook Marketplace. It really is.
Do you know what's really fun is that Chad started looking at boats, before he bought his little boat. And now all that's on Facebook Marketplace for me is boats.
I looked at
hide boats.
I looked at one lawnmower, and now all I get is lawnmowers. That's all I get.
Like people. There's got to be an expiration. Ursina says, my husband is getting me a saddle for our 10-year anniversary, but I'm not going to get it till winter time. I think she's in Canada too. That sucks. Melissa says, I signed up for a Martin clinic and I'm super excited, but I'm too much of a chicken to ride, so I'm just auditing.
Oh, Boyd would be fine. You could ride with Boyd. He's not going to be
Come on. You can ride that big, beautiful chestnut in that Boyd Martin clinic.
Up.
Do it. Taylor, a different Taylor than the one we just talked to. I have to use my beautiful weekend putting a drywall up in my tack room instead of riding my horses.
It's amazing we ever have time to ride our horses.
I know. It's true. Aaron says on Saturday, I had the best ride yet on my 5-year-old mare. Best ride. And then it rained all day today, so I couldn't have 2 great rides in a row. Your people are in a drought. She's like, it's too much rain. Carrie says, I signed up to ride. Oh, I'm feeling this one, girl. I signed up to ride first level in a show on my perfect horse, but it's been years since I have shown, and I don't even know where to begin looking for my show clothes if they even fit anymore. Glenn,
you haven't been in a while, have you?
I have a confession to make.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So I signed up for it's kind of cool. So it's at the local eventing facility, and they're not. Stop moving my microphone. Oh, sorry. So I signed up for this, and it's cross country and show jumping, no dressage. So I get to wear like relatively normal clothes.
It's like an eventer's dream, by the way.
I know. It's amazing. However, you can do teams. And so Patty, my friend down the street, also rides baby stuff on her baby horse, and I'm going to do baby stuff on my baby horse. And you can do teams. So we are a team, Patty and I. Now, her horse, if you remember he came for training to be started, and we called him Uncle Dick because he was such a dick. And then I have Ace, who has never been on cross country before. What could possibly go wrong? So our team name, Team Horse Radio Network. Yay!
I think you have to get permission from my boss to do that.
Nope. Too late. Already submitted the entries.
God.
What could possibly go
Do you think there's
wrong?
a reason you've never had the traveling saddle pad?
I know you don't want me to have one because you want me to embarrass you. So that's why I named ourselves. We're Team HRN, baby.
Oh, God. Oh, God. I had no part in this when the bosses listen, and when they go after you, I had no part in this.
It's going to be fine. It'll be fine. What could possibly go wrong? It's totally fine. Okay. Next one. Kimberly says,
Patty, you keep her from embarrassing me, okay? Just saying.
She can't handle that. That's not fair. We're both going to embarrass you.
Patty's pretty tough, though. I met Patty. She's pretty tough.
I know. That's why I have her on my team. Kimberly says that somehow her iWatch unplugged from the wall, and then she didn't notice it, and then she went to put it on, and she says, my iWatch died while I was riding, and it didn't record my ride time. And without proof, it's like it never happened. Yes, so true.
Do you guys record every ride?
Oh my God, I got to teach Anna how to record like video stuff. Like seriously, I'm riding and you're not videoing. I'm videoing you. Why aren't you videoing me?
Yeah, you need to teach her. She can learn a new skill while she's here.
Exactly. Yeah. Margaret says, I'm still so devastated about my beautiful boy's mane. Margaret, I don't know how you're able to handle this. Okay. One of the girls at the barn gave him a bath. And this is a Morgan horse, Glenn. One of the girls at the barn gave him a bath and then decided he needed a haircut. And she cut this horse's mane to 2 inches, and it was a beautiful, long, thick Morgan mane.
Who cut somebody else's horse's mane?
Oh my God! I like Farm Boy's horse has a long mane.
Like holding the lady down and cutting her hair.
Oh my God! I would be so pissed.
Who does that?
Somebody at her barn did it, and she handled it with grace. I would not have handled it with grace.
I don't know many horsewomen that would have handled it with grace.
I don't know what would have happened. I keep my horse's mane short, but Duke has a long mane. If somebody cut his mane, it would be like cutting off Rapunzel's hair. He's so beautiful with his black long mane. Oh,
well, there's some horses that are meant to have manes and they don't never get cut. So yeah.
Oh, Margaret, I'm so sorry. That's a real problem. That's a real problem. I'm mad for you. Well, okay, moving on.
I never heard
Larissa,
of that
my bestie posted. I didn't even know.
Florida gets shot for that.
Oh my God, I'm so mad. Oh. Okay, Larissa says, and this is my little bestie. She never posted a first world problem. Let's see what she has. I recently decided that I would get my nails painted once a week so it covers up my constantly dirty nails. But I'm sitting in my car on the way to work after cleaning up the barn, and I noticed dirt is now crusted to the outside of my perfectly painted nails. Larissa has stallion, mares, foals, all the things at her. She has a pig, she has everything. Girl, what are you doing painting your nails?
Just give up.
What are you doing?
Either that or buy a belt sander. Just sand them down.
I just have to cut them all the way off. It's easier to keep the dirt out of them. Heather says, oh, by the way, I can't have my nails painted. It makes me have imposter syndrome when I'm painted. Heather says, my new 4-foot-tall teddy bear I got to desensitize my young horse has arrived, but now I have to go to work to pay for my horse addiction. I more wanted to celebrate that she got her own Buck the Bear, Glenn. It's a little smaller than my Buck the Bear. It's not smaller. Mine is much heavier. Mine has eaten for preparing for winter, and hers has just come out of hibernation. But yes, if you need help, I attach ropes all to that thing.
25 pounds of dirt on it.
Yeah, it lives outside. He's a bear. He needs to live outside.
One more.
Leslie, one more?
One more.
Oh, no. Gwen, she says, I have a horse show, and this is a real problem, Glenn, and you're not going to understand this, but I'm going to have to explain it to you, or Jen will. I have a horse show in 3 weeks. And I have 2 brow bands for my dressage bridle. And one is black and sparkly and matches my show helmet, but some of the sparkles need to be reglued. Or I have a silver sparkly one that has a matching belt, but you won't be able to see the belt with my show jacket on, and I don't know what to do.
Now, I know Gwen, and I can see this being an issue.
I'm tired for you, Gwen. I don't know how you're going to handle it.
We spent some time drinking together on the cruise. I know Gwen.
Oh, poor Gwen. I'm just so sorry.
Her poor husband. All right, that's it. Thanks for submitting your question, First World Problems, auditors. Appreciate that. What a great show. What a fun show. Celebrating our listeners and being with us for this long. We really appreciate all of you. Thank you for listening, and we hope to be doing this a little while longer. Auditors, hold on. We're gonna share something that neither one of us really want to hear, but we're doing it for you.
I gotta go. Oh wait, hello. Oh you know what? My vet. I just saw a horse run through the fence, Glenn. I gotta go.
See y'all. We'll be here tomorrow, the next day, and the next day.
Lord willing, and the creek don't rise.